Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another Sports Weekly. I'm John Hoffman, and as we normally do, we'll get the phones ringing right away. We'll give you our trivia question. There's only one person who has ever caught a touchdown pass and then went on to be a head coach and win a Super Bowl game. 581-9061 is the number to call, and we want to get get the hints out early so the phones will ring. He's retired. He I think he's the last commentator on television, just hired this year, and I think he's on Channel 4. So I've just about given you his name, but 581-9061 is the number to call. We also want to remind everybody that if you're watching this at Tuesday at 7:30, there's still time to vote. So if you haven't voted, get out, and you can still catch us tomorrow night at 6:30. So get out and vote. It's much more important. You can still catch us and not miss anything, not miss a beat. So that trivia question one more time. The only person to catch a touchdown pass and then become a head coach and win a Super Bowl game. 581-9061. Should be easy. He's no longer a coach. He's working as a commentator, and I think he's the new guy on the block on Channel 4. So we've told you just about everything. We've got some great highlights for you. We're out in all that rain on Saturday and got some for you anyway, so we're going to show you those right now. To the far side. We start off with Swampscott visiting Lynn Classical after a fumble. Swampscott with good field position. John Schloffman with the fullback draw gets good yardage, 13 of them all the way down the 23-yard line. Their fine junior quarterback, Todd McShay, will look over the middle. He's going to find Dan Locke cutting into the middle at the 2-yard line, a 13-yard pickup, another first down. From the 2, it took him a couple plays. Mike Madden going off the right side goes in standing up. He was over 100 yards. 5 play, 36 yards, 7-0 Swampscott. Peter Whitfork, you show at the kickoff. Brian Smith, not normally out there on the kickoff team returning punts or kickoffs, but this time he gets in the clear. Looks like he might go all the way for a touchdown. Peter Whitfork right there just gets a piece of his ankle, knocks him down. A 63-yard return to the 12-yard line. The touchdown play, Waldron with the little pitch, the quarterback option to Kenny Green. He's in the end zone. The score is 7-6. Classical would take the lead here. Waldron is going to look downfield. Lets the ball fly. Calvin Johnson steps in front of the defender, makes the nice catch, makes a couple of moves here, looks for the flag to the far right corner. He's just going to get it. Mike Madden gets him, but not before he gets in. 54-yard pass play, 12-7 Classical. The Big Blue went deep into Classical territory in the second quarter, but penalties and this big sack by Brian Smith pushes Swampscott all the way back to the 29, and it turned aside. Swampscott moves deep into Classical territory late in the half on the arm of McShay. He pumps, lets it fly. Woodfork steps in front of the defender, makes the catch. A 39-yard pickup down to the Classical 18. A few plays later, it'll be the same combination. This time, McShay rolling to his left, finds Woodfork sliding in the end zone. 34 seconds left, 13-12 Swampscott. Classical looked like they had the lead back. Kareem Gibson with an outstanding return, 94 yards. See him make a couple of moves here. Brian Smith with a couple of blocks against Peter Woodfork right here. Gibson is in. Classical celebrating. Unfortunately, there was a penalty on the play. They got good field position, but they fumbled on the next snap, and Swampscott took over. Late in the third quarter, Swampscott, behind the running of Mike Madden, get going again off the left side, picks up 17 yards. A personal foul as you see the flag come in, moves it down to the Classical 12. Swampscott caps off the 49-yard drive with Madden going off the right side early in the fourth quarter. Madden, the workhorse, due to Traeger DePietro being hurt, 19-12. Swampscott on the point after try. It's muffed. The ball is on the ground. Madden tries to complete a pass, picked off by Gibson, and he's going to go 90 yards the other way. An unusual play you don't often see for a 2-point conversion for Classical, and Classical is still very much in it, trailing only 19-14 early in the fourth quarter. The turning point of the game, 3rd and 27, after Classical took a penalty rather than have Swampscott punt. A draw play, Mike Madden with all kinds of room. He needed 27, he got 28. It's a first down with 4 minutes left. Swampscott continues to move the football down deep. Mike Madden is going to get the call as he goes off the right side. He's hit. He fumbles the ball out of the end zone. The new rule says that belongs to the defense. Classical gets it at their own 3. Turnovers bother Classical all night. They couldn't handle the snap on the first play. They lose the football, and the Big Blue get it right back at the 3. It takes 2 plays, 2 quarterback sneaks by McShay to get it in from a yard out. The Blue win their second straight. They're 10th in the last 11 games with Classical as they hang on to a 26-14 Northeast Conference win. We move to Saturday morning, still at Manning Bowl, where it's Lynn Tech entertaining Pope John. Tech in their second possession. This is Tom Hennessy. Makes a couple of good moves, breaks a couple of tackles off the left side. 15 yards down to the Pope John 32. Quarterback Elvin Alvarado will call his own number and getting some big blocks from Hennessy right there out in front. He turns the corner for a big 17-yard pickup. A couple of plays, Alvarado from 3 yards out will use the quarterback sneak as he goes in standing up. 58-yard drive, 8 plays. Jonathan Brown tacks on the extra point. It's 7-0 the Tigers. Using the pass almost exclusively, Pope John answers back. John Dolan, the quarterback. You see it tipped in the air by Dave Sacco. He makes the catch. The 64-yard drive makes it 7-6. It stayed that way at halftime, 7-6. The only other drive by Tech is turned aside by this interception by Joe Saccato, who returns it nicely into Pope John territory. The defense gets it going for the Tigers in the second half. Dolan goes to the air, lobs it up. Jonathan Brown picks it off. He's going to go 45 yards for the touchdown as he breaks tackles along the way. It's scored in by a nice block right there by Hennessy. Breaks one more tackle. He's in for the touchdown. It's 13-6 Lynn Tech. 4th and 6 for Pope John. They're in punt formation. Sacco, a fake all the way. He needs to get to the 40-yard line, and you're going to see him stretch that frame of his, and he doesn't quite get there. Almost took out Gary Zwerker on the play, and Tech will take over at their 41. Jonathan Brown, who had 83 yards rushing, cuts it inside, bangs it back to the outside. A 20-yard pickup down to the Pope John 40. 2 plays later will be Brown again off the left side. A huge hole as he gets to the outside. He'll pick up 13 more down to the 23. On 4th and goal, Brown will get the call from 3 yards out. He caps off the 59-yard 7-play drive. It's 19-6. He gets his second touchdown of the morning. On the 2-point conversion, Alvarado will roll to his right. He's got 2 people wide open. Chris Meyer actually steps in front of Eric Olson to pick it off. It's 21-6, the Tigers on top. Whatever success Pope John had in the first half really turned sour in the second half throwing the ball. We saw Jonathan Brown's interception. Now Chris Meyer does it. This 44-yard return for the touchdown is going to extend the lead to 28-6 in favor of Lynn Tech. Gary Zwerker is able to clear the bench. It'll be Nat Hernandez wrapping up the scoring with this 7-yard jaunt. It's 34-6. Tech goes to 3-1 in the Commonwealth Conference League Large Division, still in the hunt for a playoff berth. At Marblehead, it's the Salem Witches visiting the Marblehead Magicians. After a short punt, Salem takes over at the 46-yard line of Marblehead. Joe Fabiano gets it off the right side to the Marblehead 34-yard line. Fabiano, who had 167 yards in the first half, gets the pitch, and they use this play all day as he goes in off the left side, caps off the 46-yard drive. It's 6-0 Salem. Marblehead saw almost exclusively sweep left, sweep right. This time, Fabiano sweeps the 2-point conversion to the left. It's 8-0 in the first quarter. Against a depleted Marblehead team, down with many injuries to starting players, Fabiano gets the call. This time it's student body right with all white shirts out front. He breaks a couple of tackles. He's off to the races. 41 yards later, he's in the end zone, and it's 14-0. They again go to Fabiano for the 2-point conversion. Again, the pitch. This time they go right. Fabiano's in for the score. It's Fabiano 16, Marblehead nothing. Marblehead only had 1 first down in the first half due to defensive plays like this. This is Carlos Leopoldo making the big hit in the backfield. And Seth Witten, who had an outstanding defensive football game at middle linebacker, makes the hit here on Eric Hudak. If we go back to offense, it must be Fabiano. An 85-yard drive. It takes him 4 plays. This last one, the 58-yard touchdown run is again. He breaks a couple of tackles. He's got nothing but daylight in front of him. It's 22-0 as Fabiano scores his 3rd touchdown of the first half. Salem changed it up a little bit. They still run the 2-point conversion to the left side. This time it's Tom Brophy going in from 3 yards away. It's 24-0. Marblehead forced to punt on their next possession, and they get scorched again as Brophy picks it up, moves to the right side, cuts it back to the middle, weaves his way through a lot of red shirts, almost went down there. He's already celebrating as he realizes he's going to go 72 yards for the score. It's 30-0 as they get 28 points in the second period. Brophy set up another touchdown with a 28-yard punt return. This is Tony Cooper going the final 16 yards. It's 36-0 Salem at halftime. Salem added in the second half using 3 sets of quarterbacks and 3 different running backs. This one, Cornelius Dunwoody, he gets the 9-yard call for the touchdown as it's 42-0. Joe Freeman from the I formation takes the handoff. He's going to go through a big hole, straight ahead for the touchdown from 4 yards out. The Witches roll up a very convincing 49-8 over Bruce Jordan's Magicians. We moved to Manning Bowl where a steady downpour really deteriorated the field. As you can see, muddy conditions, miserable conditions. St. Mary's already leading 8-0. The defense stops Georgetown on the fourth down. Ted Nichols and Joe Farini making the big stop. St. Mary's made 5 fumble recoveries in the second half. This one is going to give them field position at the Georgetown 44-yard line. Ted Nichols shows he can do it on offense as well, as from his fullback spot, he's going to get the call and the handoff from Ed Lewis, the quarterback, as he slips and slides his way through the defense for a first down to the 24-yard line. Quarterback Eddie Lewis will call his own number here as he follows blocking around the right side. He's able to turn the corner and get down to the 10-yard line before he's knocked out of bounds. Lewis will call his own number again from the 2-yard line with some help from his friends. He's pushed in the end zone. That makes it 14-0. Darren Malloy will come right back. He takes the handoff off the left side with a good-sized hole. He runs in the 2-point conversion. It's 16-0 the Spartans. Tom Serino gets it done on offense and defense. Here the ball is knocked loose. Serino is going to fall on the loose football and give possession to the Spartans at the 16-yard line. A couple of plays later, it'll be Serino banging in from 2 yards out, as you see him here off the left side. That makes it 22-0. St. Mary's with their 4th straight win. They move over the 500 mark and move to 4-3. Welcome back, and we're going to give you a trivia question before we go to some extra scores. We're looking for the only person to catch a touchdown pass and then go on to coach a team and win in the Super Bowl. 581-9061 is the number to call. We've told you he's no longer coaching. He's become the new kid on the block, the commentator, and I think it's Channel 4, so we can't give any more hints than that. 581-9061, the number to call. Looking at some other football scores around the North Shore and getting into some other scores as well. Danvers goes to 5-2, their best start since 1983 with a 30-19 win over English. J.M. Flint had 17 carries, 108 yards, 2 touchdowns. Danvers built up a 37 lead and then held on. Alfonso Prater, 10 carries, 75 yards for 1 touchdown. Chris Connolly had an excellent game. 9 for 21, 138 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, and he ran for a touchdown. It's Danvers' 3rd straight over English, who drops to 2-5. In the big one, the undefeated, Winthrop 21, Beverly 6. Winthrop now just about, I'll go out on a limb and say they clinched the Northeast Conference Championship, quoting somebody from Winthrop Cable. Anthony Palmer, 29 carries, 98 yards, 2 touchdowns. He now has 20 touchdowns, 260 points, which is a career record for Winthrop High School. He's got 1,158 yards rushing. It's the first win since 1981 at Beverly for Winthrop. It's their 2nd consecutive Northeast Conference Championship. I say that because they've got 2 games left. They only have to win one of them. They've got 3 left, but only 2 conference games. They only have to win one, having already defeated both Salem and Beverly, who are the teams behind them. Keith Gorman was the big plus for Winthrop in the game. He was 9 for 10, 124 yards and a touchdown, and he on 2 scoring drives he completed to Dan Godfrey some real big pass plays, and he was actually the difference in the football game. Bishop Fenwick, their best start since 1979, 22-14 over St. Bernard's. Salem's Peter Bick, 9 carries, 102 yards. They've won 4 straight now. Lynn's Art Cardenas, he had a 50-yard touchdown reception. He also had 6 tackles, 3 pass deflections, and an interception. That's about a career for some people. Ryan LaMontagne from Salem had 14 carries, 84 yards, and a touchdown. He also ran for a 2-point conversion. Gloucester made it Saugus 0-7 as Gloucester moves to 3-4, 21-0. It was close at halftime, 0-0, but Saugus, I guess, the big one last week, the 2 undefeated teams. The big one coming up this week, Saugus and Marblehead, both at 0-7. Something's got to give there, unless, of course, they play to a tie. In girls soccer, Bishop Fenwick, they started the week losing to Lowell 2-1. Mary Wells got her 16th goal. They come back and defeat Matignon 9-0. Wells had 4 goals and assist. Brianna Zaverka of Lynn had 2 goals. Kerry Andrews of Lynn scored. They clinched 2nd place in the Catholic Central League, and that also clinched them a berth in the tourney. Then they finished up 8-6-4 by beating Billerica 2-1. Wells got her 21st. Lawrence Slade got the winner. They broke a 55-game win streak by Billerica, and along the way, among those 55 games, Bill Ricker had beaten Fenwick twice, 3-2 last year and 1-0 this year. And Mary Wells is the leading scorer in the Catholic Central League. And more about Mary Wells later. Salem has a win over Marblehead. Kirsten Yale got 2. Amanda Potvin got a goal. They were down 1-0. They got 2 goals in 35 seconds. But then in the big one, Beverly defeats Salem 1-0. It's the 6th title in 7 years. The only other team to win it was Salem. And of course, one of those years was kind of a big asterisk against one of those years because they kind of fouled up the standings. And I guess you got to be from Salem to understand what I'm talking about. Swampscott qualifies for the tournament. They're 9-4-5 on the year. They beat Classical 6-1. Rachel Abelson, who was the leading scorer in the Northeast Conference, had 2 goals and assist. Yifa Perry had 2 goals and 1 assist. And they come back and lose to their arch rival Marblehead. Abelson got her 22nd. She's got 22 plus 9 assists. She's the number 9 scorer in the state for Swampscott's only goal. Classical finishes up at 2-16. They lose Swampscott 6-1 and English 2-1. Megan Gutrow had both goals in the games, giving her 7 for the year. English finishes up on an upbeat. They finished 4-10-3, but they had a tie and a win. They tied Danvers 1-1. Sarah Kalapinski from Deidre Jackson got the goal. Nicole Marcotte, big in goal, had 11 saves. They defeat Classical the last game 2-1. Deidre Jackson with 2 goals. St. Mary's loses to Marion 4-1. Gina Boudreau, the lone goal. In boys soccer, St. Mary's, I wish I could tell you how they did. I don't know if they played yesterday or not. Unfortunately, it won't be on until next week's highlights because that game was played this week. But they needed to win yesterday to get in the tournament, and we hope they did. In last week, they finished 9-4-3. They lost to the Minutemen 3-1. Matt Fuller got the goal from Jimmy Malo, and they defeated North Shore Vogue 8-3. Terry McGowie and Malo got 2 goals apiece with 4 assists. Lynn's Mark Williams for North Shore Vogue had 2 goals, and he actually gave North Shore Vogue a 2-0 lead before St. Mary's erupted. English, they have 12 straight unbeaten as they finish up the season looking for the tournament. They tied Danvers 1-1. That's 2 ties against the conference champion. Joey Crowley got the 1 goal, and then they finish up 9-3-6, tying Classical. They had to come from behind to do it. Jay Bonavie and Mario Vernet. Vernet also assisted on the first goal. Salem finishes up with a win and a tie. They could clinch second place with a win over Classical. They beat Marblehead 1-0. Louis Congals got the goal. Peter Lavasser, his 4th straight shutout, 8th overall. He's got a 0.88 goals against average. They tied Beverly 1-1. They're 13-3-1. Congals again gets the goal. Lavasser had 15 saves. St. John's Prep, they lost a chance to win the Catholic Conference. They needed to beat BC High. They tied them to stay 1 point behind. Jeremy Long got the only goal as number 13. And they defeat undefeated Peabody 4-0. Cliff Laurentani had 2 goals and 1 assist. The Prep 11-2-2. Fenwick, they finish 7-8-2. They lose to Matignon 3-2. Dave Moran and Chris Joyce of Lynn got the goals. They defeat Savio 5-1. Moran got 2. And the Lynn connection, Jay Leck, Andy Wills, and Chris Joyce got the other 3. Swampscott finishes up at 3-15. They shut out Classical 3-0, and Andreas Ebinger got the lone goal against Marblehead. Classical's got 1 game remaining as they're 4-9-4. They got shut out by Swampscott. They came back and tied English. They actually led 2-0 on goals by Tommy Holland and Ron Mathau, and they finish up with Salem. Looking at Salem State, the women's soccer waiting to see if they get a bid for the NCAA. They had a big week, 5-0 over Fitchburg. Danielle Day with 2. Marcy Maglio had 3 assists. Kristen Taylor had her 6th shutout. They go 4-0 in the Mascac, beating Worcester 6-0. Don Leary had 3 goals. They annihilate North Adams 7-1 to go 5-0 in the Mascac, 10-5-3 overall. Marcy Maglio and Tina Hernandez had 2 apiece. They're 7-1-1 their last 9. They clinched a tie for the 4th straight Mascac. They've won it 5 out of 7 years. Kristen Taylor, her 8th shutout, her 20th in her career. Men's soccer, the men got an NCAA bid. They had a big week, 3 straight shutouts, 2-0 over UMass Dartmouth. Kirk Murray and Salazar Silva got the goals. Norman James had 2 assists. He's got 56 points. They beat Westfield State easily 9-0 to go 6-0 in the Mascac. Salazar Silva had 3. Renault Nova had 2 for their 10th straight win. They beat Mass Maritime 3-0. Norman James got number 23. It's their 11th straight win, their 6th straight shutout to go 7-0 on the MASCAC. They've only given up 1 goal in their last 9 games. They've won their 10th MASCAC title. The NCAA Division III New England Regional bid, they'll be the number 2 seed and play Amherst. It's the 9th time in the last 10 years that they've gone to the NCAA, and they went to the Final Four in 1990. Looking at some miscellaneous notes, the Commonwealth League All-Star soccer teams picked their teams this past week, and some of the locals on the Northeast in the Commonwealth League All-Stars, the first team, Temis McGowie and Jimmy Melo, Temis McGowie is number 4 in the state, and Jimmy Melo is number 7 in the state in scoring. On the second team, they're both from St. Mary's, by the way. In the second team, Brian Field and Mark Smith from St. Mary's, and also making the All-Star team was Mark Williams of North Shore Vogue. The Northeast Conference boys team was selected. The first team from Salem, Peter Lavasser and Louis Concalves, Chris King from English. On the second team, Eric McKinnon and Kiet Fung from Salem, Isaac Hodes from Classical, Sean Fales and Jason Donovan from English, and Mike Dudevois from Swampscott. So congratulations to them. The girls team was selected, on the boys side, Steve Enjemy was selected co-coach of the year, so congratulations to him from the Salem Witches. The girls team, the first team from Swampscott, Corey Larkin, Yaifa Perry, and Rachel Abelson, who was the leading scorer. Deidre Jackson from Lynn English. From Salem, it was Mary Beth Egan and their fine goaltender, Kelly Latch. On the second team from Salem, Amanda Potvin and also Bethany Greenblatt. And from Classical, Megan Guttrow. Looking at Pop Warner, Beverly and Winthrop met in their big one over at Hurd Stadium in Beverly. Well, over at Bertram Field was another big one, also 6-0, East Lynn and Salem A teams. East Lynn comes out on top, and what better way to settle a championship than to go 2 overtimes. Each team had 2 cracks from the 10-yard line in overtime, and in the second try, East Lynn gets the touchdown and wins 6-0. Steve Fisty, the pass to Soken Arth for the touchdown, and now that cinches the Cole Conference Championship for East Lynn. Congratulations to their A team, and they'll go on Sunday to play in Dracut. They'll play the Middlesex champions, Bill Ricker, and we wish them luck, and we hope they go all the way. Salem in the B game. The Salem B team looking to go to the tournament. They go 7-0 with a 20-0 win over East Lynn. Adi Mercier had 2 touchdowns. Adam Schroeder had the other score. The Catholic Central Conference also picked their All-Stars, and we may be giving you a scoop because I just got this tonight from Lisa McIntyre, the coach of Bishop Fenwick. The MVP of the league was Mary Wells, and why not? She's on a tear and a half. And also making the first team All-Stars were Colleen McGlynn and Lauren Slade, and from Lynn, Kerry Andrews. So congratulations to those young ladies for making the Catholic Central League All-Stars. And they had a tremendous job. They had to, over their last 9 or 10 games, they had to really put on a surge in order to clinch second place in the Catholic Central League. They did that to get into the tournament, and they played some outstanding soccer, and they got out of the blocks a little bit slow, but they really turned it on, especially Mary Wells, and they did an outstanding job. Trivia question one more time. We're looking for the person who caught a touchdown pass and was also the head coach of a team that won the Super Bowl. There's only been one that did both, and that's called 581-9061. We told you he's not a coach anymore. He's retired. He's on the sidelines. He's working as a commentator, and we're pretty sure that he's the new kid in the block, but we're pretty sure it's Channel 4 that he's on. And if we tell you more than that, we might as well tell you his name. And we don't want to do that. We want you to tell us so you can get in our bowl and get in on all our prizes. Not too difficult to pick our players of the week this week. One is a repeat. We try not to do that, but unfortunately sometimes you have to because the performances are just so outstanding. In the male version, Joe Fabiano wins for the first time, and he certainly deserved it. All he did was get 3 touchdowns, giving him 22 career-wise. That sets a new career mark at Salem High School. He had 15 carries, 175 yards to go along with those 3 touchdowns. He also ran for 2 points after. and he's now up to 702 yards. And the only thing I can say to Coach Kenny Perrone is come out and give him the first 11 carries, because the stats really hold up well. Anytime Joe Fabiano carries more than 10 times, Salem wins. So it's easy. You just make sure you get him over 10. And they should have somebody on the sidelines just keeping stats to make sure Joe Fabiano's got more than 10 carries. In the female side, we have a repeat. And when I tell you the numbers, you'll know why. Mary Wells from Bishop Fenwick. As we mentioned, she's the MVP of the Catholic Central League. All she's done so far is she had 6 goals for the week, but her numbers are even more impressive than that. She's got 15 of the last 22 goals scored by Bishop Fenwick, and as we mentioned, they played some very tough competition, including Billerica, who had a 55-game win streak. She's got 15 of their last 22. She scored a goal at least one goal in 7 straight games. She scored 21 of the 40 that Fenwick scored this year, and that's when you consider the fact that sometimes she's double and triple teamed, and sometimes even more than that. You got to really tip your hat to Mary Wells, and not only that, but she sings, and she plays softball, and she does a lot of things. And I'm going to mention the same thing I mentioned last week in the football game. It's good that the Wells family has at least one athlete, and I'm directing that directly at her father, and he certainly knows what I mean, because whenever I pitched against him, he was usually ice cream, and I'm sure I'm going to hear from that. But congratulations to Mary Wells and Joe Fabiano. And I questioned last week, only twice have home runs been hit in the World Series in the 9th inning to make a difference in the World Series. One of them was the one by Joe Carter that was just hit. The other one is the one we were looking for, the last gentleman to hit a home run. And what we want to know is, what was that gentleman's name? And of course it was Bill Mazeroski. And everybody got that. Even if you didn't get it, we gave it to you anyway. When you call in, we're very easy. So call in and ask, because you can easily win, because we help you even if you haven't got it right. Okay, our winners. Fred Sorella answered Mazeroski. That's one. Fred is one of those guys that I usually take his call. He calls in afterwards. Another winner is Bill Bonapane from Swampscott. And the last one is from Salem. And I don't know if I'm going to give this one up, because last week a gentleman called and said, "This is Cheryl Guy calling." And I asked him, I said, "I want to see some ID, because I don't think he was Cheryl." And actually he was calling in for his wife. And so Cheryl, he called in for you, but you make sure you get the prize. Make sure he doesn't scoop it and say that he got the answer and he called in, so he should get it. Trivia question one more time. We're looking for the guy who caught a touchdown pass and who was also a head coach on a team that won the Super Bowl. And it's 581-9061. We told you he's a commentator on Channel 4, and he's the new kid on the block. And I had a note handed to me. Congratulations to the St. Mary's soccer team. They did win yesterday. They are in the tournament, and that's a great tip of the hat. They had an excellent season, and those guys are really playing well. And Terrence McGowie and Jimmy Malo, the first-team All-Stars, they're scoring well and playing well together. And hopefully they're on a roll now, and they'll carry it into the tournament and do very well in the state tournament. So we hope you to bring all those results and maybe even do a game or two in the state tournament. We hope we can do that. So, Players of the Week, Joe Fabiano, Mary Wells. Our trivia question again before we close. The same guy caught a touchdown pass in the Super Bowl and went on to become a head coach and win a Super Bowl game. 581-9061 is the number to call. And we wish an outstanding day to everybody. We hope everybody got out and voted and did their right and their duty. And we wish everybody that ran, we hope everybody does well. And we hope to see you next week. And stay tuned here on Channel 3, because through here, there'll be about a 10 or 15 minutes, around 8:15, I should say. We're going to switch to City Hall, where Joe Spina will have live coverage, and you'll be able to pick up all the results of the election. That's going to do it for Sports Weekly. I'm John Hoffman saying we'll see you next week.